Testing, 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 testing. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be sharing a little bit about my aviation story and how or why I became a pilot and what motivated me. So it all started when I was 9 years old. It all started when I was 9 years old, and two friends and I actually wanted to become flight attendants, but that changed dramatically when I went to high school. Where I lived for most of my childhood was near some cane fields in Jamaica, and a part of the cane and sugar manufacturing process involved crop dusting at the time. So as a child, I used to be able to see crop dusters working overhead, and I'd ask my parents, what's happening up there? What's going on? I mean, that looks interesting, so tell me about it. And that helped to fuel my interest in aviation. When I was 14 years old in high school, I was selected for a program called Pilot Project because it was the first of its kind. And somehow the word pilot and the fact that I was already interested in aviation made me think, but wait, instead of being a flight attendant, I could just fly the planes, right? And then after that, it took me over. I became obsessed. I used to write on tissue, on napkins, in the back of books, on a random paper around my house. My name is Brittany King. I'm 14 years old. In the future, I will become a pilot, and that stayed with me. I even have some of those napkins and tissues still. Like, I pasted one on my wall, and I still have it, and it looks a mess, but I'll show you guys. So I later found out that my father actually wanted to be a pilot, but he was discouraged, sadly, by a teacher at high school who thought he would be better suited for something like accounts. So he never pursued his dream of becoming a pilot. And that kind of gave me the drive to think, oh yeah, my daddy wanted to do this and he never did, so let me push forth and see if I can do it, and kind of, make him proud for achieving something that he wanted to achieve, and eventually take him flying. So as I pursued this dream of becoming a pilot, I found out that I had two cousins, one on my mother's side and one on my father's side, both of whom were pilots. And I was like, wait, but there's some aviation in this family. And then there's another thing to add. My mother's father was actually an engineer in the Royal Air Force, and he served for many years and traveled the world as well. And then I started thinking, if I was really to become a pilot, I would be the first female in my family, both immediate and extended, to become a pilot. So I was like, yeah, that's a cool challenge. Let me see if I can get that done. So I set out with my parents' help to do ground school here in Jamaica. So in 2007, my mother and sisters and I traveled to the United States, to Florida, and we met up with one of my cousins who's a pilot, and he took us on a tour of one of the airplanes he was flying at the time, which I think was a Sabreliner if I'm not mistaken, and I was fascinated. I was in love, and he himself was convinced at that time that I was really going to pursue this because he said I asked a lot of questions, I was enthusiastic, and I was really excited about the whole idea of being in an airplane and having control of it. Part of me being obsessed and consumed with aviation saw me whenever I was traveling, going into the cockpit at the end of the flight or the beginning of the flight, talking to the pilot, asking questions, asking for a picture, and I would always try and get a picture in the cockpit. Part of my enthusiasm and my excitement and just general joy of seeing airplanes was manifested in the fact that I would actually cry sometimes when I would see an airplane. Like, I would see one take off and I would just start to cry. I don't know if anybody else has that similar reaction, but that's what used to happen to me. It doesn't happen so much anymore, even though recently I was watching somebody's first solo video and I just started to cry for no reason at all. But what it is now is more like excitement, and I run outside and be like, airplane, airplane, even to this day. So wanting to be a flight attendant, seeing crop dusters and airplanes working overhead, finding out I had aviators in my family, finding out my father wanted to be a pilot, and thinking that I would be the first female in my family to do it. That was the driving force behind how or why I became interested in aviation and how I became a pilot and what motivated me. So what about you? How did you get your start in aviation and what motivated you to be a pilot? Leave it in the comments below. In the next video, I'll talk about how I got my start in aviation. So that's an exciting story that you don't want to miss. So click right this up, right this up, right this up. Where... Because landscape, we have a lot of cane fields, which are part of the seeing crop dusters working overhead, finding out that I had aviators in my family. Those things and just the love of it made me excited. Full stop. I can't